Welcome back, awesome action toy fans and subscribers. We're looking at two more Hiya Judge Dredd figures today, Judge Hershey and Chief Judge Cow. Looking forward to these. Both look pretty cool. Cow looks a bit short, if I'm honest. I'd compare him to Hershey foot to foot. He seems a tad shorter, maybe, or is that just an optical illusion? Maybe because his feet are slightly lower in the packaging, that's why. Both look pretty cool. Obviously, we're getting Anderson's body again here. This is slightly different. The blue is different, which is a bit disturbing. Rather, they kept the same hue of blue between all of them. But it does look good. Hershey looks sort of really captured the look from the comic. I thought Anderson wasn't so great on the one I got. And Cow looks pretty good. Love that alternate head. Sort of crazy Chief Judge. Okay, I'm going to open these up and we'll get into this. If you like sort of content, want to see videos as soon as they're uploaded, as opposed to waiting 3 days, 1 week, 2 months, sometimes more, please consider joining the Patreon, link in the top right of your screen. Now, you can cancel anytime, so there's no obligation to be there long term, and we often have prize draws and raffles which you get free and extra entries into. So I'll be back in an instant and let's get into this. Okay, here they are, Hershey and Chief Judge Cow. Both are really cool for different reasons. Hershey just looks fantastic, I think they've captured the likeness from the comic quite well. And wasn't Hershey? Yeah, Hershey was in the Stallone version of Judge Dredd 2, wasn't she? Cow looks pretty good, looks pretty crazy as you'd expect. The only thing is the blue is so different, which sort of drives me a bit crazy, but we'll have a look at that in a second. So let's have a look at Hershey first of all. She is a great looking figure. Decent head sculpt, paint apps are alright. Looks pretty nice. Basically the same as Anderson as you'd expect, just different name on the badge and different head, but that's not a bad thing. Pretty cool. Bit dodgy on the paint apps perhaps in some places, but decent enough figure. And can do a nice pose as you can see there. And then if we go to Cow, I'll take his little things first. So here's his alternate head. Pretty cool. And then this is the little fish. Told you, fish. Which is pretty cool again. Very, very nice. I did have that upside down in his hand just a second ago. And now let's get a look at him. Quite freaky, that look. It's got a chain for this part, which is really quite nice. Soft goods on the cloak, which is nice again. The star knee pads are pretty cool, but the blue is just so not matching to the other blues that we've seen previously. Hershey comes with the same standard hands we saw on the other judges. I've swapped the hands around, so she has right hand trigger hand, left hand gripping hand, and then standard hands are just these sort of open hands. We just saw Cow then. He comes with these open hands, and then he comes with another set of sort of open hands but slightly more gripping. And they both come with the same base of which we've seen before. So let's look at Hershey and articulation. I should note, or point out rather, if you've not seen the other reviews, that you can stow her lawgiver inside the little boot holster there, which is pretty cool. Articulation, watch out, these pads can come off the shoulders. Happened to my Joe Dredd, which we'll see in a little while. So left, right, up, down, small side to side, shoulders can go all the way around. Just need to be a bit careful. I think it might be easier with the eagle perhaps, but I'm not doing the eagle. To the lateral raise will depend pretty much on how big the head is, or the hair. So she gets about 90, which is alright. Bicep bend. Her pad is in the wrong place for some reason. There we go. Bicep bend is under 90 on her, which is a shame. Same on the other arm. Does have a trunk which has some movement, which is alright. The waist has some movement too, so together she gets movement. Hips are not bad. There's no... Oh, you can twist. There's a fine twist on top. There's forwards is not great. Backwards is not great. The knees are very... Or the legs are very thin. So you do get a pretty good knee bend. Well over 90 degrees. The feet... There is no boot turn. There is no swivel. It's just a tippy toe, which is pretty good. And a dorsiflexation, which is alright. On Cow, Judge Cow here, should be the same. It feels like he's got a bit more in the head, if I'm honest. Shoulders, I'm not going to take all the way around, but they're going to struggle. They're much bigger, these shoulder pads. Lateral raise is not as good. Bicep bend is maybe the same. His trunk is going to be hidden under this little chest piece, but with his waist together, he does get pretty good trunk articulation. Hips, not bad. Look at the forwards and backwards, not great. There is no thigh twist on him, it's just from the joint. Double kneecap, he gets much tighter on there than Hershey, but he doesn't have the little things behind his knees like she does. And the same feet, but this one is a bit loose, his left on our right. The other one's a bit tighter. So not the best articulation, but these guys are great for posing and setting up, particularly if you're a 2000 AD Judge Dredd fan. Nice looking figures. Now, my issue, bring it back, is that they don't match in blue. Much different colours in terms of their shade, their hue of blue. If I put Hershey down, or I've put him down, have Hershey and Anderson, I'm expected to be almost identical. Anderson is perhaps this one. Anderson's perhaps a touch darker, maybe, but really hard to tell. Even on camera, it's very hard to tell. In hand, perhaps a touch darker. Compared to Giant, and she is slightly darker than Giant. Compared to Joe Dredd, similar to Dredd himself. Two very nice figures. I think Hiya doing a pretty good job in this. I'm waiting for Anderson and Judge Dredd himself on their Lawmasters bikes. That should be pretty cool. Can't wait for those, if I'm honest. The best release so far for me from this is the Clegg Mercenaries. I think they are just fantastic. I've got 4 of them. I mean, they can work in a number of different universes. Very cool. Basically just crocodiles and like suits with jump packs. They are absolutely fantastic. Another 2 good releases. I think they're doing a great job in this, and I'm really glad that they did pick up the 2000 AD license. Okay, so Awesome Toys signing out, saying please consider joining the Patreon, link in the video description below. Remember, you can cancel at any time, so there's no obligation for the long term, and please subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay happy, keep collecting. Bye bye.